researchers say that Earth might soon get the Saturn-like rings made entirely out of space junk, like our electronic junk. Now people, they tell the electronic junk is to be kept separately, like the waste which we are giving, the paper waste and the debris, all these things. Similarly, in the space also, there will be a lot of debris. They can be cleaned up by using magnets. This was a research point. Now, the issue is the more countries are venturing into the space, the problem is simply following like the anti-satellite weapon test by Russia. Russia has started one important thing, anti-satellite weapon testing ceremony, and it has become a very violent thing. Now, the debris is now adding to the junk. It poses potential threat to the lives of US, Russia, Chinese astronauts and cosmonauts already in space. We've already sent 2 missions. Can you, Aditi, tell what is the mission which we have sent? Space research. We have sent 2 missions.
Sir,
Please tell. Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan. Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan. Mangalyaan is to the Mars. Chandrayaan is to the moon. 7 countries also they have sent. And there are some astronauts and cosmonauts who are still in the space. So this debris, it will create a lot of nuisance for them. It is a global threat. The 5 lakh million pieces of debris are there in this space. You please note down. Charan and Vikram, 5 lakh million pieces of debris are in this space. The outcome of this project, if a space debris is to be cleared, will directly support the Indian space mission.
sir, can you tell again?
Yeah, 5 lakh million pieces of debris are there. The Indian space sector, it is now the value of, that also you please note down, Vikram, the value of Indian space sector is now $7 billion. $7 billion. I will repeat these 2 again. Number 1 is the pieces of debris in the space now ranges to 5 lakh million. And the space sector value now in India is $7 billion. Then coming to another point, there is one person called as Jadhav. Have you heard of his name? Kulbhushan Yadav. What happened to Aditi? She has missed the link. Kulbhushan Yadav.
Maybe network issue, sir. She'll join.
No problem, no problem. Kulbhushan Yadav was a prisoner in Pakistan. He was in our army, and a death sentence has been awarded to him by the Pakistan court. He, by mistake, landed in Pakistan. He was an army person, and the military government at Pakistan, they gave him a death sentence. It was by mistake he landed in Pakistan. And Jadhav is a 50-year-old gentleman, a retired Indian naval officer. He was sentenced to death by the military court on charges of espionage and terrorism. These were the 2 things which the government of Pakistan has asperred on him in 2017. You please note on this. Kulbhushan Yadav, an Indian naval officer, sentenced to death in 2017. Then the government of India, they approached the International Court of Justice. It is in Hague, Hague. the international court is there. We have
Sir, can
district
you
court.
repeat the sentence?
Yeah, International Court of Justice. International.
Sir, there's
Court.
Polabhushan.
Huh? What is it?
Polabhushan Yadav, an Indian national.
Yeah, no. Kulabhushan Yadav is an Indian Indian naval officer. He was sentenced to death by military court in 2017. Then our Indian government approached the International Court of Justice. It has about several judges, and the Chief Justice also is there. They said, according to the Vienna Convention, it is known as Vienna Convention, if there is a dispute between the two countries or several countries, the Vienna Convention, in that meeting, they have come to a conclusion saying that it should be deliberated upon and it should be discussed and final decision is to be taken according to the justice. So the Vienna Convention states that foreign nationals who are detained by the host country be given notice to the embassy or consulate. There are several embassies and there are several consulate is for the Commonwealth countries. Britain has several countries in its fold and they are known as Commonwealth countries. And the other countries like Russia, America, all these things, they have the embassies. In each country, an Indian representative will be there. And in India also, in Delhi, each country has a representative. He will be known as an ambassador. So this is an important item during the last 1 week. Another important thing is the government of India, they wanted to introduce several mobile services in different parts of the country. In smaller villages, they are not reachable now. In towns also, Airtel and other things are Vodafone and others are there. And sometimes the signal strength is not that much strength. So the mobile services, they want to introduce in 7,300 villages. You please note down. Government of India want to introduce in this phase, remote areas, 7,287 to be specific. These villages are uncovered villages. These are uncovered villages of 44 aspirational districts. You please note down 44 aspirational districts. Aspirational district means Government of India has identified some districts which are to be developed in a phased manner. So these 44 districts have been identified in different states and they wanted to complete this project. This is known as mobile service project. And the estimated cost is 6,466 crores. This also please note down. The estimated cost for this mobile service providing is 6,466 crores for 5 years. The project under Universal Service Obligation Fund should be completed within 18 months. That is the original idea. The fund was established in 2002 when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. This was introduced. This is meant for inclusive development of the country. Then there is another scheme called as Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. What is this? This is known as Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. An approval for phase 1 and 2, that means another 1 year, and a road connectivity project for the left-wing extremists affected areas up to March 2023. Because we have got so many areas where the road connectivity is not there and the popular transportation is not there. So the Government of India introduced the extension of this scheme by phase 1 and 2. The need for the expansion was majority works were pending and the scheme launched on 25th December 2000 was to be extended. All weather road to connected unconnected habitations are, will give 60% of the cost, and the state has to bear another 40%. This is the
Sir,
main
can you
idea.
repeat the sentence
Then
again?
another, yeah, the cost of the project will be borne by central government, 60%. State government has to bear 40%. And this is the project which was introduced in phase 1, 2000. Then another important thing which happened is Ramappa temple. Where is this Ramappa temple? Charan, no chappagalava? Kerala. Yashwini,
No, sir.
Aditi,
No, sir.
Vikram,
Sir, Tamil Nadu or Telangana, sir? I don't remember exactly.
Telangana. It has been granted World Heritage Site. Ramappa temple, you please note down. UNESCO. UNESCO expansion is United Nations Educational, Social, Cultural Organization. I will repeat. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. This organization, they announce the World Heritage Sites, depending upon like Taj Mahal and other areas, Red Fort, all these areas, they World Heritage important things. It is in Warangal district, Ramappa temple. The temple stands on a 6 feet high star-shaped platform with walls, pillars, and ceilings adorned with intricate carvings that attest to the uniqueness of the Kakatiya sculpture. Kakatiya dynasty was there. It was in 12th century and 13th century. So you please note down two important things. Number one is it is a 6 feet high temple, and it was built during the Kakatiya period. And who is this Ramappa? You may be having whether he was a king or what was his importance to be given. He was a sculptor. Shilpi antame. ఆ శిల్పి చెక్కాడు ఈ మొత్తం టెంపుల్ అంతా కూడా. ఆయన పేరుతో రామప్ప టెంపుల్ అని పిలిచారు. దిస్ వాజ్ కన్స్ట్రక్టెడ్ ఇన్ 1213 AD, 1213 AD. And that time, the Ganapati Deva of Kakatiya dynasty was there. Our history master has told you about Kakatiya dynasty, Ganapati Deva and his daughter. Who is the daughter of Ganapati Deva? Ishwini, నువ్వు విన్నావా క్లాసు? కాకతీయులలో ఒక ఆమె చాలా ప్రసిద్ధురాలైనటువంటి ఆమె ఉన్నది.
Rudramadevi, sir.
Rudramadevi, correct. So during the period of Kakatiya, both Ganapati Deva and Rudramadevi and is Ramalingeshwara Swami. He is a Shaiva temple. And oldest Telugu inscriptions were found in Warangal district, and Hanumkonda is the capital of the Kakatiya. Warangal, Hanumkonda also is an important place and it's capital of that particular Ganapati Deva. Italian traveler, those days like our travelers, Italian traveler Marco Polo, he visited this and he praised Kakatiya kingdom and their administration. So you have to note down 3 points here. Number one, Ramappa temple is described as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is the first in Telangana. Number two, it is a 6 feet high platform of walls, and it was built during Kakatiya period, 12th century. And the temple is Ramalingeshwara Swami temple. And the rulers were Ganapati Deva and Rudramadevi. And first Telugu inscription was there in that period. and their capital is Hanumakonda and Orugallu. Orugallu has become Varangal. And the Italian traveler, you note down his name, Marco Polo. Marco Polo. Marco Polo, Italian traveler, Marco Polo. Charan, Per Rasco, Italian traveler, Marco Polo. And the Kakatiya Torana, we have a very big Kakatiya Torana in Varangal. It was built in 12th century by Rudramadevi's father, Ganapati Deva. The many similarities were there with Sanchi Stupa. Sanchi Stupa is a Buddhist stupa, and this Kakatiya Torana is in continuation of the Sanchi Stupa. And you must be interested to know Kohinoor diamond. That is the richest diamond, the priceless diamond. It was owned by this present Ganapati Deva and Rudramadevi, and later on it moved to Britishers. So all these things are known as importance of Kakatiya Rudra period, and then the importance of Ramappa temple, which has been given the World Heritage Site acceptance. These are the things which you have to keep in mind. And I now request our principal madam, director madam, to take the case. Say,
Sir,
yeah, Vikram.
sir, can I mention 2 points, sir?
Please tell.
Sir, zero hour is the invention of our Indian Constitution, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is when some critics have said that we have copied from other constitutions. This is one of the thing which is unique about our constitution, sir.
Yeah.
And
The
another point,
biggest constitution also. We borrowed from
Yes,
several
sir.
constitutions, and this is the largest constitution.
yes, sir. And one more thing is that this week one of the major issues is ban on the cryptocurrency, sir.
So yeah,
Like they're trying to impose a ban on cryptocurrency with a bill in the winter session of Parliament, sir.
because it is not found in any. It is just
Yes, sir.
imagination. You
Yes,
have
sir.
become a power
The value has
person.
due to that the value has dropped up to 50% of the value, sir.
Yeah. And it increases. Is a very is also purchasing cryptocurrency. It is also
Yes,
there.
sir. We are trying to suppress the currency and increase the system behind that, sir.
Yeah. Anyhow, nice of you. Tomorrow we will have the session for presentations, and the second session is taken by our director, Madam Shailaja Madam. Shailaja Madam, you please continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.